Cleaning your bike doesn't just keep it looking pretty. It's really important to prevent the buildup of dirt and grease that would otherwise chew through your moving mechanical parts. Cleaning your bike should be done regularly, especially if you're riding in wet and muddy conditions. You're going to need a bucket and sponge, or hose pipe if possible, degreaser, bike wash fluid, preferably biodegradable, brushes, paper cloth, and chain lube. A chain cleaning device is useful too, but not essential. Your drivetrain is prone to attracting a large amount of dirt and grease, so it's advisable to get it cleaned first to minimize the spread of that filth to other areas of the bike. It's best to clean the chain using a dedicated cleaning device filled with liquid degreaser, according to the manufacturer's instructions. If you don't have a chain cleaner tool, some aerosol degreaser and brush will get the job done, but with a lot more effort. If you are using a brush, then it's a good idea to have one reserved solely for drivetrain cleaning, to avoid cross-contamination. If your bike is especially filthy, then give the cassette, chain rings and jockey wheels a really quick once-over with a little degreaser and your drivetrain brush or floss. If you have disc brakes, it's now a good idea to inspect the rotors for any drivetrain grease that may have found its way onto them during the cleaning. Remove any contaminants using degreaser applied to paper cloth, or you'll permanently ruin your brake pads next time you drop anchor. It's worth noting that if you're in a real hurry, then you can usually get away with just relubing your chain and skipping the rest of the cleaning procedure. However, if you are going to clean the rest of the bike, then you should hold off on lubing until after you've finished. Use a low-pressure garden hose to get the bike wet and take off the loose dust and bigger clods of mud. If you don't have a hose, a bucket and sponge can be used instead. If your only option is a high-pressure hose or power washer as found at some trail centres, make sure you stand well back so the jet diffuses to a fine mist by the time it reaches the bike. Otherwise, you risk blowing out the grease that is required to keep headsets, wheel hubs and other bearings working properly. By now, your bike should be wet all over, so it's time to cover the whole bike with bike wash and leave it to do its thing for 5 minutes, or whatever the manufacturer recommends. Some riders insist that a solution of washing up liquid and water gives similar results to purpose-made cleaning fluids. However, we prefer to err on the side of caution. Bike wash is specifically formulated for compatibility with the materials that make up your bike, and it's usually easier on the environment too. After your cleaner's time frame has elapsed, you're ready to scrub. Starting at the top, use a brush to agitate all the stuck-on dirt so you can rinse it off easily. Pay particular attention to all moving parts like the gears, brakes, and if you're cleaning a mountain bike, the stanchions and seals of the suspension. Use some fresh water to rinse off the detergent and dirt. Check the whole bike for any stubborn grime you may have missed, and use a brush or sponge to get rid of it. Areas like the inside of the chain and seat stays and under the down tube, particularly around the bottom bracket, are prone to stubborn buildup that'll need to be shifted. If you want your bike to really shine, use a chamois leather to wipe off the excess water, then apply some PTFE based spray. This will prevent mud from sticking and make the bike shine. Just make sure it doesn't go anywhere near breaking surfaces. After allowing it a few minutes to dry, wipe with paper cloth for a showroom-like shine. This is especially useful if you are selling the bike, but will help prevent mud sticking when you ride it next. Finally, carefully lube the chain, wiping off any excess. If there are any steel parts on your bike, like bolts or pedals, then it's a good idea to leave it somewhere to dry. Failing that, cover sensitive areas in Teflon or PTFE spray. Obviously, that doesn't include your disc rotors. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the rest of the channel.